In progress.
Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, guten Tag, guten Morgen, bonjour. I don't know. I am speaking with our global platform here today. We are talking about nature. It's Fabrication Friday with Vanessa. I'm Vanessa Donaldson. I'm a military spouse transitional coach. And I also do the van life, hence the van in the background, van life consulting. So yeah, nature is kind of my jam. And Fridays, I like to put in little plugs about nature. So today I'm so honored that I was able to coordinate and get a bunch of friends here from over the water here in Europe. We've got Simona coming to us from Spain and everybody else as well. Andrej is in Slovenia. Stefan is in Austria next to my mom in Bavaria. Hello, hello. And then we have Jonny in Sweden. So these are a mastermind group. They're called the Keepers of the Mother Earth. And I just love that. And on, I think it was Earth Day, they just took charge and set something up and really honored Earth. We had a whole workshop together. You know, they opened up to around the world just to talk about the importance of nature and incorporating that to our lives and respecting nature, the balance of nature and man. So I said, yeah, let's all get together and just continue that conversation. So today in our little 30 minutes, we're going to just go over some nature topics because there are benefits. People kind of know it, but it's nice to be reminded, like, why do we have nature around us? Why does Simona have plants in her space right behind her? Like, you know, there's intentional reasons to pull nature into your environment and to go out into nature, right? So yeah, so without further ado, we're just gonna go around and maybe I'll lead with some topics, and then I'd love to hear your guys' interjection on how that plays in your life. Are you guys cool with that?
That's great.
Absolutely.
Right. All right. Well, welcome, guys. So for question number one, so the benefits of nature. Let's talk about like stress reduction. Like nature, basically, you know, it's a calming effect when you step out into nature, whether it's trees, plants. People call it like tree bathing, I think, in Asia. So how would you incorporate nature to reduce stress in your lives? What are some things that you guys do? And we'll just maybe go around. Simona, Stefan, Andrej, and Jonny. I see you on the screen that way. So incorporating nature for stress reduction. Simona.
Well, my first anti-stress nature hack is look into an animal's eyes. Ooh. There is nothing that will whatever is going on, if I might be in total turmoil, whatever is going on, I grab a cat or a dog, or I don't care what I grab an animal and I look into their eyes. And it doesn't have to be one of my pets. It can be a sheep on a field. It doesn't matter. When you make that eye contact, it's unbelievable. They take you in their space, and their space is a space of total connection to nature. They feel it more than we usually do. We are all part of nature, so we're actually in our element out there. You know, we are part of nature, maybe within four walls, but sometimes we don't feel it. We get detached from it. And that for me is the strongest way. Look into an animal's eyes and you're back.
I love that. I did a horse therapy for military spouses. It was a charity that takes you out to do equine therapy with horses.
Fantastic.
And so I think that's the last time, other than looking into my two puppies' eyes, but those were big eyes. You know, horses' eyes are really big, and they put us one by one in the, what do you call them, even the corral, the stage area where the horses run around. And sometimes we were alone with the horses, sometimes we were all in a group. But when you get up to that horse and you looked in that eye of the horse, and it's bigger than your eye, right? Like there's some kind of connection there. So
it's incredible. Yeah.
Way to kick it off, Simona. We're like already different level talking about animals. Stefan, have you had a few minutes to think about what to add to stress reduction with nature?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it reminds me of my childhood back then at my parents' place when we had a cat. And it was that calming effect when you just had your cat on the lap, and then it would go on and then make that strange sound. It was just that calming effect I experienced. What I do when I'm stressed, I literally go into the woods and experience all the different shades of green. I just gaze at the leaves on the top. Yeah. And at some point, I just lose myself into that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If trees
So,
could
like,
speak, huh?
yeah, right. And if there's time and if it's not too cold, then I just take off my shoes and just ground myself there. Yeah.
Mm.
Leaning against the tree, looking up the leaves, and that's really doing the trick for me. Yeah.
Trees can speak. Ask Jonny.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll get to him around there. That's awesome. I want to hear about the trees talking because yeah, they're magical, and people hug trees for a reason. So, and I love how we've got the animals now, we've got the trees, and now you've mentioned going barefoot. So when you got grounding in there, like this team is on fire with how to connect to nature. So, anything else, Stefan, or should we pass it to Andrej?
No, let's continue with Andrej.
Okay, Andrej, what are your comments on here?
Yes, my co-founders know me for about running. So whenever I'm stressed, I try to go out and, if possible, in nature, and I just run because it really clears my head. Most of the time I'm trying to avoid listening any music or that, because doing it like this, I'm really relaxed and my mind is clear. And what also I like, if it's possible, to run in the morning and to be there when the sun is going up, and then I stop and I close my eye and open my hands, and I'm just 1 minute standing there and like communicating with the sun. I feel the energy is firstly coming to the sun and then from the sun back. So this is, let's say, my approach.
I love that. I saw that on your LinkedIn that you're like what's your title that we even used? It was very ultra runner you have. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy's running all the time. Reminds me of the American movie with Tom Hanks with Forrest Gump. You might know that movie. So he was just running. But
Yeah.
interesting how you don't run. You run like in complete silence, huh? No music, nothing.
I mean, usually when I'm running alone, but of course when there are these events and when I'm preparing for these longer events, because this is I'm running this 100-kilometer runs. So when I'm preparing this can be really, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours of training, and then I'm trying to, when I'm running last half or even more, then I'm let's say helping myself with the music because I like music, and this gives me additional push to finish the training.
Yeah. For myself too, I like to do like little 20-minute runs. I'm a very like 20-minute person for workout at the gym. Like, and I did have, if you've all done Mind Valley, I know I met Simona through Mind Valley certification. So they have a whole 10X program, right? With Ronan, that was his name.
Yeah.
So I love the way you could take the fitness and just crunch it down and make it more intense, but shorter. Cause like 2-3 hours in the gym for me, like, no, I want to be out in nature or, fishing with my husband. Like, I don't want to be in the gym like that, but I need to have music. So like this morning, like, for me, it's everybody's got that different vibe music they need for running, right? For me, it's techno. Like that really just gets me, maybe because of my German mother, and it not like boom boom techno, but very positive, like words that come out too, like focus, attention, like that Berlin group or something. Like I get these like messages, focus, attention, concentration, So, but anyway, that keeps me going around the neighborhood. But after 20 minutes, I'm done with the techno, I'm done with the running, and then I can go into Zen music. So, but I love that we have a runner on here and how you can connect to nature, running in nature like that. Do you have like a certain path you take all the time, or you do different paths?
No, I'm that kind of person that I'm trying to find new paths. So I don't like to go the same way every day, every time, or let's say. So yeah.
Very cool. And on the street, or also can you do like off trail? Because it's a little harder running on rocks, or people challenging up a mountain or something.
I mean, normally it's more let's say not really hilly, but from in the forest, yes. And what I also like, it's running running in the dark at night. This is also very nice. Yeah, because the moon is usually quite light, so it is possible to run with any light. So this is
Wow.
also very interesting. Yeah.
Very cool. Running at night. Yeah, I might not have an excuse not to run. We're heading off with our van life to Canada and Alaska. So people tell me some seasons in Alaska, it never gets dark, right? There's light even in the middle of the night. People are gassing up their cars at midnight thinking, oh, it's only, it's the middle of the day, but it's midnight. So yeah, maybe I can run at night too. I'll have a lot of light there. So, okay. Thank you so much, Andrej. And moving on to Jonny, we're still on point number 1 with stress reduction, and then we'll move on to the second point. How do you use nature for stress reduction, Jonny?
Yeah, I love what everyone is saying, and I found many similarities. Yeah, and I also do some running, and it was fun about the thing Andrew said with the music. I usually don't have the music, and yesterday when I went running, I also like this just short, like 20 minutes run to just de-stress. And I was thinking, I'm gonna try music this time, and I put it on first. But when I got into the forest, I was like, just feeling so much peace and nice energy from coming from the environment. So I just had to turn the music off because it was just so relaxing and distressing to just listening to all the nature sounds instead. Yeah, and I also found many similarities with Stefan. I just like going out into nature, and I also thought of exactly about the same thing yesterday. I was just standing up on a hill, seeing just marvel at all the green leaves. It was just so much. It was just amazing, and yeah, just that experience in. I really like just going out for a wander out in nature and like having no plans. You just let yourself wander and don't plan where you're going and let your imagination just take you away.
I love
Yeah,
that.
and it's funny that Simona mentioned speaking to trees.
Yeah, tell us more about that.
Yeah, children, it seems like all children does this, or at least it's very common.
In
And
Europe, maybe. I don't know. My mother used to take me in the forest there, so I get it, but I don't know in the States, but tell us
yeah,
more.
at least we imagine ourselves, speaking to all sorts of things. But usually when we grow up, our parents tell us, "Oh no, that's nonsense, that's silly," and we stop doing it. But there is something to it, and just allow your imagination to run free. Imagine yourself having a conversation, and just allow yourself to be silly, and imagine what the tree is saying, and just keep going with that, and see where it takes you. And yeah, that's kind of me. I like to be silly. I like to be a bit crazy, and yeah, just don't worry about what society will think. And yeah,
Yeah.
and I found it so healing because nature has so much healing to give you. Yeah, and I also really like to just drop into that heart space, feeling the nature from your heart, and then I feel just all this love coming from the trees and everything. It's wonderful.
Yeah. And when you mention the feelings, it reminds me of all 5 senses. So that's part of being in nature too, right? It's not just very one-dimensional. It's about what you're seeing, what you're touching, what you're smelling, what you're
Yeah,
feeling,
yeah,
all that together. And tasting, which, yeah, you can taste. I have some fruit trees in my yard, so I can pick off that and eat. It's a tomato growing.
yeah,
There's a little spicy salad leaf thing growing, but all 5 senses, when you're in
yeah,
nature, you can tap into that a lot
yeah,
quicker.
for sure. I just try to take it all in, and it just makes you feel so alive. Yeah,
And you mentioned wandering, I feel like we're wandering through life with the van. Gosh, it's so easy to get lost in nature. Like you said, we wander, we don't have a plan sometimes. We're heading to Canada and Alaska, but we don't know what route yet, but we find the most magical spots along the way. And it's always about enjoying the journey, right? Not just getting to the destination. So doing that, there's lots of moments of silence when you're doing the van life, just the two of us. So yeah, the importance of silence in our life too is really huge, I think, because the world is just such a distractive place right now. I mean, can you imagine people that grew up without cell phones, without internet, social media, all that? It must have been a little, more manageable to wrap your head around just life and your task and everything. And now everything is like 10x to 100x. So you have to really push yourself out of that space to open up and, create space to just let your mind slow down and think.
Yeah.
So yeah, nature will help you slow down for sure. So thank you. I'm going to chime in here. We've got some people in the chat. We've got Carolyn joining us from Toronto, Canada. Thank you, Carolyn. Hey, Claire is online. She was in the Mind Valley certification with us. So some of you might know Claire. So thank you guys for joining. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. We'll be happy to address them as we go along. So that was our round robin for benefit number 1 to connecting with nature, the stress reduction. So the next thing, I have a laundry list here, but we're going to get through what we can in the next few minutes. So let's talk about improving our mood and emotions, feelings. That's, a huge thing, at least in the coaching space. So when you're in nature, it can actually boost your energy, right? Increase your feelings of happiness and well-being, just being outdoors like that. So it has to do with the serotonin levels, if you want to get more scientific, right? And alleviate symptoms of depression. And in this day and age, oh my gosh, we've got, I think around the world, not just in the US, the amount of people on antidepressants. And, and for military, it's huge. It's understandable. You've been blown up in war. You have survivor's guilt. There's so many things that go along with the military lifestyle that can spiral you into a depressed world. So please, we invite you to use nature. I always say meditation, not medication. Like use your natural space to deal with that antidepressant. So let's talk about improved mood. How does nature improve your mood, Simona? And what do you want to add to that?
I want to take it from where you said, it's being in nature is used against depression. And this is hugely important. And why is that? Why does that work? It works because depression, when we are depressed, it's always because we are in some way disconnected from our soul. We are out of our connection, I call it. We're out of our purpose. We are not whole. We are whole when we're in our soul. And sometimes life happens, things happen, beliefs, all sorts of things that kind of create a distance, kind of get us out of the space of the soul, and we get trapped in the mind. And what gets depressed is the mind. It's not the soul. The soul is never depressed. It's the mind that gets depressed. So what happens when you are in nature? Nature brings you back closer to your soul, and that's why it alleviates depression. It kind of reminds you of what you are and of where's your place in all of that. It kind of adjusts your position in the universe. Your position in the universe is aligned with your soul, and there is no depression there. It's not possible. It's just not an option. So that's what nature does. It gently pulls you back. Like imagine a spotlight, a spotlight of where your soul shines. And what nature does is it takes you by the shoulders and it goes, wait, and it puts you back in the beam of your soul. That's why it counters depression like that.
Your analogy, wow, it's amazing. And it's to the point, you're saying nature pulls you back, and you're right. Now that we do this van life thing, like we crave it. When we're sitting too long in our boxed world doing thing, like we're like, we got to get out. We crave it. You start to crave, I got to get out to nature, because it's like the soul is calling us back, right? To slow down and to not follow the path of the world of doing, and stress, and just following that pattern. So yeah, we crave nature more and more, the more you experience it. When we're camping and looking for a spot even to stay for the night, I'm looking for a mountaintop view. I'm looking for, I don't want to hear road noise. You get pickier and pickier. Now I like to have a running stream or a lake. So I'm on my Google Maps telling my husband like, nope, we got to drive another 45 minutes. There's something up ahead. He's like, I'm getting tired. I'm ready to, no. We got to have the full epic ending here. You know, like that's our television screen, right? Turn off that electric box and look at it. That's our screen. And it's magnified. It's like on a huge projector all in front of you, and it's free. It's a gift from above and it's free. So, you know, go out and tap into it. So love what you had there, Simona. Thank you. Stefan, what do you want to add with improving mood?
Whenever I go into nature, I really switch off my phone. Usually when we were talking about depression, right? To get rid of it. Well, what I can tell is that, for example, when we are off our communications and when we connect to nature, especially when we are grounding, for example, then nature helps us to really, resolve all the processes inside of us that make our body not function well. So it brings us back to our initial state, to our natural state, so that our soul can speak freely and truly again throughout our body again. Because like we are soul, right? We are not our body, we have a body. And when we are depressed, then it's our body that has a problem. And nature can help us fix that body.
Yes, you're bringing in the physical aspect of being in nature, like literally like can repair and heal our body. Yeah, very important side.
But it's not also to go out in nature, but through nature, like what we eat, mostly plants, fruits especially, they can help us cleanse and help us giving back going back to our natural functioning again. Like all the processes probably that are twisted up inside our brain, some neurons not firing well anymore. Nature and detoxification with nature can help us a lot.
Yeah, I love the way you bring in the physical being of the body in nature, the soul, and now also the food, the diet we eat. Because look at our ancestors. Did they run around eating, you know, Cheerio cereal and boxed up stuff? What did our ancestors eat? You know, berries, right?
No
and fruits
Snickers
and
bars.
nuts. No what?
No Snickers bars.
No Snickers bars. I do have a little chocolate, you know, craving here and there, but there's the dark chocolate, right? There's ways around that, and a little nibble of a dark chocolate doesn't have to be the processed or cocoa powder, that kind of thing, right? So yeah, thank you so much, Stefan, for sharing that. I love this insight so much more when you put all these heads together. It's like, why am I going into nature? Next time we all go out, we're going to be paying a lot more attention to what we're saying. So Andrej, what will you add about improved mood in nature?
Usually if I try to improve mood, I'm searching for a water, any kind, running, river or sea or lake or whatever. And this just staring at it improves my mood. And if I'm able to go in the water, and especially if the water is cold, then it really improves your mood. You're feeling much better. The mood is improved, and this is really what I can recommend to make some cold bath, as it is said. Yeah, this is what I would add.
So very similar to me trying to park the van to go into my rest phase with a stream or river or lake. You're looking for that when you're running to boost your mood. So that's awesome. I love the way you say that. And just staring, you mentioned, I think, like staring at the water, staring at it. That brings to mind, if anybody's done positive intelligence with Shirzad Shamin, right? Like there's in the PQ gym, now we're going into acronyms, but our emotional intelligence, the gym where you're exercising your mental fitness muscle, there are actually visualizing, you're staring, some laser focus, that's what they called it. Laser focusing onto something. So laser focusing onto water and things in nature, that's all part of improving your mental fitness muscle. So that makes sense if you're running and now you're incorporating the natural scenes around you on your run. So I love that. Somebody put here in the chat, being presently involved with our present, using our senses. Yes, they talk about Claire mentions using your senses. I like that, our TV screen for a free gift. Yes, the TV screen is nature's our TV screen, that's for sure. And there's some more chats coming in. I don't know if you can all see them, but thank you so much for your comments in there. And cold plunges. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a very European thing. My mother, like, we can go to the sauna, whatever, and then she gets in that ice bath thing. And I'm seeing more stuff about ice bath. I just came back from Baja, Mexico. We were camping on the beaches there, and that's a big thing there. Everybody's doing these ice baths. So since Andre mentioned water, and now Claire's talking about cold plunges, have you all experienced the ice bath and what that's all doing? It's a whole new phenomenal for breath work and stuff.
Yeah, it's very good.
It's normal in Europe, right, to just jump into freezing water. Simona's like, no, she's in southern Spain. She's not doing the ice bath. There's like, people are using this for some kind of therapy. So Andre, you jump in that cold water?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And
does it? It's for varicose veins, I think people say. It helps with your
and also cold showers. It's the same. Let's say you're doing for the circulation, blood circulation.
Yes, blood circulation. That's it.
I'm sure it's very, very, very healthy.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Not for everybody, but yeah, you can see these photos and people on the WhatsApp groups in Mexico. They're literally sitting in these buckets filled with ice, and they're going in there for like a few minutes, and they're doing like breath work with it. It's a whole thing. But yeah, that's something in nature too. So Jonny, I don't want to leave you out for the improved mood. You've had plenty of time to think about how nature improves your mood. What do you want to add to the conversation?
Yeah, I think the biggest benefit is just the stillness, to get like we've talked about already, you know, to get away from that stimulation and being connected to everything, you know. Don't like Stefan said, don't bring your phone, you know, leave that, go natural out in nature. And I really like, you know, computers and internet and that sort of stuff. And one of the bad habits I have is I can just get too overwhelmed with too many thoughts in my head, in my mind. So yeah, just coming out to nature, probably feeling the sun and experiencing seeing all the trees and that just calms me down. You experience this stillness in the mind, and you just let that all those thoughts just go away. Yeah, then you really just recharge.
I love it. And I say, charge your soul, not just your cell phone. And on the front page of my website, it actually says recharge your life. So that's what you do in nature. You're like recharging. People just think, you know, you take it for granted. You're just going for a walk out there, but you're recharging your soul. You're recharging your life. So I love it, the way you add the stillness, something to be said about stillness and silence. So that will bring us into our last question or topic, because we're running a little short of time here. So you mentioned stillness, and, you know, we talked about slowing down. So and it's in the afternoon for you guys. So let's end with, you know, better sleep, how nature can help you sleep better. That's a huge thing too. People are on antidepressants and they're taking sleeping pills because, you know, they need something, you know, a pill to help them calm down. So Simona, back to you on how nature will help with your sleeping pattern, your sleeping habit. That's really important for how we are productive and show up in the world during the daytime when we're awake.
Yeah, so like it's true for animals, you know, there's night life animals and day animals. Each one of us has their own biorhythms, and it's important to find out what works for you. We used to you know, get up when the sun was up and go to bed when the sun was down, but this is not necessarily true for everyone. Because there's people who are night owls and they really, really work really well at night. They are more active. They're more like, you know, like cats. So I think it's important to find your internal clock, to listen to your internal clock. It might not be what you think. You might be in a habit which is not really yours, or you might have found it, and if it doesn't work with the rest of your family, sorry, I'm a different animal. It happens. It can happen. Be true to that. Obviously, the more time you spend in nature, the more the way it reconnects you, and it helps with mood and with depression and with any of that. It will take sleep in a stride, because good sleep is also, it comes when you are a bit more at peace, when you're a bit more balanced, when you're a bit more, so it will help with that hugely. For people who find it hard to sleep, I would suggest grounding your bed, finding, there's devices and there's ways of reestablishing. If you can't sleep on the ground, maybe you can in a tent and you can sleep on the ground. You're guaranteed to sleep well there because you're in that energy field. But if you're in your bed in a house and maybe you're on a 17th floor or God knows what, there's way of grounding your bed, grounding your mattress, of grounding, so of reestablishing the electric connection to the energy field of the earth.
I love it. I love it. Grounding and sleep, and wow, that could be just a whole other talk just in itself, sleep. But for the sake of time, thank you, Simona. We'll go on to Stefan. What do you want to add with sleep benefits?
Well, whenever I go out to nature, it's really a deeper, more healthier sleep. Not usually longer, but like 7.5 hours usually. Yeah. And what I've also found that at some point I didn't need the clock anymore. I was just waking up. Yeah. After I was fully recharged, I woke up.
Yeah.
And I see the shift, like when I'm in the hustle, when I do too much, like disconnect myself from nature too much, then I need the alarm clock again, not having a good deep sleep again. And then when I connect again, then it all comes back. Yeah.
I love that, the waking up without the clock. And I noticed that too when you get into coaching and you're training yourself as you're coaching other people. So you got to be talking the talk and walk the walk. So you're implementing all these things that you're learning from your training. And there's just something cool about being able to wake up with the natural light and not have that alarm go like, wow, I'm refreshed. I'm waking up. There's no alarm clock. And, when you do the van life, you do settle into that mode of going to sleep as the sun goes down. You're doing your cooking together. You're just like the animals, like you're really going to that state of just slowing down. And then in the morning, like you can feel a little light cracking in through the sunlight of the van, and you just naturally start to wake up too. So yeah, there's something to be said when you're on your right body clock and you're going to bed when you need to, and you're waking up refreshed still without an alarm clock, not like tired and groggy, but refreshed and ready to take on the day. So love that. Thank you. Andrej, what do you want to add about sleep? I bet you sleep really well with all your running.
Yeah, actually, I don't know if it is because of running. I was always sleeping quite well, so I didn't have any time, any difficulties to fall asleep. But I would imagine that first I would suggest people to not to be active in, let's say, on the phone before they go to sleep. This is definitely, I think, not good. Maybe better is reading a book. This helps also me, and this is very nice. I don't know, walking the dog in the nature in the evening. This can be also helpful, and maybe some breathing techniques. We can find many techniques who are, let's say, helping us to calm down and then easier to sleep.
Yes, I'm so glad you brought breath work up, because like even my husband and I were just swimming in the ocean of Florida the other day. And now that I'm a coach and I have all these breath work techniques, I mean, I love to just float in the water. I don't know about you guys, warm water, not cold, and just do the breathing, and you feel your whole body kind of raising from the water a little when you're taking that breath, and then the exhale. And I'll just do like a series, of like the 3 or 4 rounds of breathing, box breathing, whatever. But it's fun doing it in nature. Like I'm having fun doing this in the ocean. So, I'm glad you brought up breath work and how you can incorporate that too. And waking up with breath work, going to bed with breath work to calm you down. Those are all great tips for sleeping well. So thank you. And Jonny, we're a little over 30 minutes here, but we're getting around to a lot of minds here. So I love it. Jonny, what do you want to add with sleep patterns and nature?
Yeah, I think it's coming back to that stillness of the mind again. A lot of times we're not falling asleep because we're just lying in bed and thinking about too much, worrying about something, or going over something in an unhealthy way. And yeah, just try to make sure to let those go. And of course, being out in nature can, like I was talking about before, can really help to bring stillness into your mind, to bring that peace and calmness.
Yes, Johnny's like, you're just a picture of stillness. It was perfectly strategized. You're at the end talk and you bring it back to stillness and calm it down. So thank you all so much. Oh my gosh, this was wonderful. So I will go ahead and wrap it up here. Thank you for joining. I hope we brought some value to our audience all around the subject of nature, taking a nature break with us on Fabrication Friday here. And go fabricate something for yourself. Get unplugged in nature. Charge your soul, not just your cell phone. If you want to learn more about us, I will put our information in the show notes. I'll get that from everybody so you can connect with them once I upload it to the show notes. So you can see them there and connect and get to know them all better. Simona and Stefan, Andrej and Jonny. And for myself, if this van has been a little distracting to you in the back and you're thinking, wow, can I work remotely? Do I need to think about living in a van? You can have a complimentary conversation with me on that. And I can be your nomadic bestie, helping you maneuver your whole path to the van life, whether you do it full-time, part-time, however you want to fit it into your world. I know I have a lady in Germany, Silke. She was one of the coaches. Her father had passed away, and she told me, I'm not getting a house next, and I'm still in touch with her. She went out and got a van instead when she sold that house, and she's somewhere in Germany moving around in a van right now. And so that came from conversations. You're having conversations with people in that space, and you realize it's possible. So reach out to us however you're connecting. And thank you all so much, you guys, for coming in from across the water. And the world isn't so big after all, right?
Thank you so much, Vanessa.
Yeah,
Thank you,
so much.
Vanessa.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. And au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Tell me goodbye in all your languages. Tschüss.
Hasta
Hey,
luego.
Sweden, yeah.
Okay, wow. I love it. All right, ending this broadcast.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. You guys stay on, ending the broadcast.